What's up, guys? Sean here from Srkcycles.com, and I'm standing in front of a motorcycle that looks like it could be from the 80s, but you'd be wrong. You could think, well, that could be from the 90s. Well, it could be, but you'd be wrong. This is a 2003. And how did that happen? I do not know, but they did not change this bike for about 30 years. Just recently did they make a new Ninja 500. Yes, they did. I think they did. Pretty sure they did. Yeah, it's awesome. Let's take this one for a spin. This is still a great bike, and for most people, I think this is a much better beginner bike than the 250. Joke. I'm going to show you why. Alright guys, words of wisdom. Proverbs 28. I have no actual, I don't know what verse this is. Better is the poor who walks in his integrity than he who is crooked, though he is rich. Ooh. So, here's a misconception about this bike. You might think that, okay, a 250, that's a bike. You got your 250 right there. It's got its stuff. The 500 must be double everything. Double the 0 to 60, double the power, and because it's so much, because a 500 is way closer to a 600, and we all know that 600 is a fast bike. A 600 Super Sport is a very, very fast bike. And so you might think, all right, 500 is close to a 600. It's not. It's really not. I don't know how they double the displacement and they get a little bit more power out of it. This is the same body. This is the same pretty much everything as the 250, except just mildly different bore and stroke. So it's still in that very, very entry level category. But I do think that extra power is much better, and I think it's a much more friendlier bike for people who are trying to, you know, learn and grow and get better. 250s are fun. I would recommend almost, and if you can find them. The problem is you can't find these bikes. They didn't make that. I don't know why. Maybe they didn't make that many of them. They didn't sell that many of them. But you just can't find them. So if any of my buddies were like, hey man, I'm looking to get into super sports, I'd be like, I don't get a 600 because they're fast. And listen, tons of people get 600s and they're fine. That's fine. I don't care. I'm just saying it's not ideal. I'd rather someone learn on something like this, learn the mechanics, and then all of my friends that got 600s, they all wrecked their bikes. And they're all dead. But they did it. So I would say this is a much more ideal bike. And if you were like, I'm looking to get a 250 or a 500, I would just say, dude, just get the 500, man. It's like, there'd be no question in my mind. Get the 500. It's a better bike. But the question is, that should be in your mind, can it do a wheelie? And it can. I'm going to show it to you. Not only did it wheelie, it was a whole lot easier than the 250s, but that back tire spun a little bit. I don't know if you felt it, but the back tire kind of kicked like this, and then it popped up. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. And then we're going to jump on the highway. See what that feels like. The reason these bikes are so good for beginners is, one, they're cheap. They're extremely cheap. Parts are everywhere. These bikes are really, really nimble. You can hit these corners pretty quick. You could drag knee it. It still is a sport bike. It's an ugly sport bike, but it still is a sport bike. I guess ugly is relative. If you think the bikes from the 1980s were cool looking, then you'd be like, yo, that bike is sick. If you don't, like 99.9% of everyone else in the world, then you might be like, yeah, hey, you know what? I can relate to this bike. The bike's ugly, I'm ugly. The bike's fun, I'm fun. I might have more in common with this bike than you guys think. I'm going. The bike's going, I'm going. So a good characteristics of a entry-level bike is it never has a really snappy, quick power band. It's never those situations where it's like, whoa, you know, oh! It's just, I mean, you can see what's going on. It's pretty relaxing, although it does get you there. You know, it's like that car that you get your first car. It could do 80 miles an hour. It could do 100 miles an hour. It just took the entire trip to get there. Now, I had, my first car was actually a pretty quick car. Back then. I don't feel like it's not fast now. But back then, I thought it was pretty quick. It was a 1992 Ford Taurus SHO manual with a 3.0 double overhead cam, 24 valve, Yamaha engine. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up. It was kind of a cool car back then. I don't think it's a cool car now. I think I drove one in like years after, and I was like, this thing's so slow. Why did I think it was so fast? My van might be faster than it now. My Power Stroke van might be faster than it. Alright, I'm gonna slow it down a little bit. There we go. I would never have been able to pull that hard on a 250. It just has that little extra. Now, if you were like, oh, I'll just get a 250 and modify it, you're wasting your money. The money you would have spent modifying your 250, you could have just bought one of these. And I don't think these are even more expensive than the 250s are. I think we have this bike listed for under $2,000. And it's got 16,000 miles on it, which I don't know why we're selling for so cheap, and I don't know what that thing is. What is that thing? It says something phone on it. It's all cloudy and no clue what that thing is. And in every gear, when you get in the higher RPMs, it starts pulling. I mean, even in top gear, this thing is cruising at these higher speeds. I feel like this thing could do 120 no problem. The 250 is not going to do it like that. It's not going to be, it's not going to pull like that. Oh, hold up, fella. Hey, oh, you know why he saw me? You know why he saw me? Because I wear a stupid looking green jacket. And everyone sees me. Alright, I'm just gonna pass this guy. If you were looking for a beginner bike and you're gonna do highway cruising, this thing is so much better than a 250. It's just effortless. It's also, you don't have that vibration. You don't have that buzziness that you get from the 250 when you're cruising at those speeds. It's very smooth, and I feel like I got so much more room to go. Here's the reason why they never changed this bike. Because it was working for them. And people were buying it. I mean, it shifts smooth. It handles well. They kept this bike for 30 years. Now, I don't know how long they made the 500 because you really don't see that many of them. But this thing is fun, and I think this is a much better bike than the 250. If I was recommending anyone, if he's like, hey, should I buy 500 or 250? I'd say get the 500. A lot of fun. All right, guys, that wraps it up. My name is Sean. I'm from Srkcycles.com. We do a lot of cool things. We make a lot of videos. We sell motorcycles. This bike is for sale. If you're interested in this bike, check out our website, Srkcycles.com. Remember, guys, it is not what you're riding, but where are you going? We'll see you guys later. I'm going to try to do another wheelie now that the tire's a little warmed up. If you guys want to wait a second, you guys can hang around and witness epic wheelie. Epic wheelie territory. If any of you guys actually are hanging around at this point of the video, just throw a comment down there. Be like, still here, buddy. Just let me know that you're still here. I'm just gonna come cruising up. No, I'm gonna do it up here. I'm gonna do it on my little driveway. I'm doing it up here. Give me some of that straight action. Give me some of that straight. Up here, right up here. You know what? I kind of feel like I'm changing my whole premise of the video now. Like maybe this is a lot more than the 250. It ain't no 600 though. I've not changed from that. Hold on, dude. Hold up. All right. Ah, messed it up. All right, you guys waited for nothing. We'll see you guys later.